kind of like Jim Henson-y kind of stuff. It's always fun, especially if it's going to be puppeteered. Then you know you got something amazing. But anyways, well, I want to jump into it. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is Don Lanning, and once again, we're here with an artist spotlight. I just had the most enjoyable week with our returning friend and student, Adam Conte. Adam was here a couple months ago with us. Was it 2 months ago? Nevertheless, he came in and he did this amazing buzzard, you might remember, a hyper-realistic, cool buzzard. Anyways, welcome back, brother.
It's good to be
And this time, when Adam came in for our week together, we knew he was going to do something more humanoid so that we could get into some kind of texture and stuff like that. Can I actually have you pull up your drawings over there? By the way, everybody, when you look at this video, if you want to get in touch with Adam, wonderful new sculptor in the business.
Not such a great artist for drawing.
Well, you don't have to be great at drawing to be able to sculpt like this. But his information is below in the video. If you'd like to get in touch with Adam, I urge you to look below in the video. But now here, this is kind of where he started. Can you tell us about your first thoughts when you first started to think about this concept? Not necessarily these drawings, but tell us about where this concept...
Yeah, well, I wanted, and I wanted to make it a little dynamic, so I kind of wanted him to be sort of wearing something.
Right.
And
you got the wolf headdress here. Let me ask you this: I feel like this is kind of like an ogre mixed with a little bit of Lord of the Rings, if you'll allow me. I don't want to read into it. I want to hear what you say, but that's what I'm getting a lot of that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like classic fantasy stuff. You
Yeah,
know, ogre kind of, so it's sort of in the traditional kind of ogre kind of realm, and then
Right.
The big wolf, sort of a little exaggerated, a little evil
Right.
looking to
Right.
kind of match the ogre. So he even feels a little fantasy.
Yes, very much so. And once again, I'm getting, because of the big jowl and what the anatomy, I'm getting a fantastical, heavily weathered kind of warrior, but also a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of elf is in there from the ears. It's funny, when Adam brought this in, he did a few drawings. And as soon as you started talking about a wolf that the character had killed and put into a hat, it immediately took me to the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, The Revenant. Thank you. And his wolf in that movie was very tight down on the skull, and it really hugged him, and it looked great in the movie. But I got excited by that because, when we're doing our sculptures, I love to have mixed media. I love that he was going to have one value, the hair, right next, juxtaposed to detailed skin. And also, I want to compliment you on this. This is a big deal. Adam was able to, in this class, to get into picking, which I learned initially from Steve Wang, and I really refined it and got into it with Steve on the first Underworld picture. But a lot of this detail that you're seeing, and you can also come up and around a little bit now, we want to show you this detail because we had more than a few conversations about directional detail. Now, many of you that know me out there know that when I'm doing detail, often I'll see people with a little bit of metal stock and 4 nails pushed into the metal stock, and they'll be stabbing in little cell structure. Now, that's a fine way to do that, but to me, a lot of this cell structure is directional. When you're coming out from the nasal fold, it's going in this direction. When you're traveling down the cheek, it goes in this direction. If you were to span and roll over your detail on the nose, you'll see that he's picking and coming down the nose, and that the wrinkles, it's going with the wrinkles. So the only place where you actually just stab, say, for example, with 4 nails put into a piece of metal stock, the only place that happens is where you may have had teenage acne, okay? The rest of it, the total of it, is directional. Wouldn't you say that was the big adventure of this? I don't want to overstate it saying it's an adventure, but that was really the most enjoyable thing, was to share some of that with you.
Yeah, that'd be...
if you agree.
Yeah, the sort of the various pores and wrinkles and the patterns therein, it was all...
That's right. See how this is going towards, it's on this shape, it's beautifying that shape, but it has a direction. It has a method, it has a direction, and that's an echo of real life. And then Adam got into cross-hatching here. And you can see that cross-hatching. That's wonderful because, once again, that's like going back to an old art class. Remember when we used to cross-hatch when you were sketching? In sculpture, the cross-hatching speaks of leathery, aged skin history. And he really got it here around the eye bags. And in here, we talked a little bit about Rick Baker and simian detail. And once again, from some of the Rick Baker work, we're able to pick up a direction. So the nasal fold is traveling this way, directional pores. It goes down into the valley here, and then it about faces, and the direction changes and now travels down the lip. Adam also was able to get some upside down U shapes, which directly goes into Rick Baker. You have some through lines that travel through the little picking that gives you little striations that speak of life, that speak of history. Really fun, right? Now, also, there was a bit of talk. There often is a bit of talk about Jim Henson and his influence on me. I was a gore guy. I was all about blood for me. From early childhood into my teens, I was just constantly, Tom Savini and bloodletting. And my mother once accused me of a blood dance. Don is doing a blood dance. My poor mom. Anyways, long story short, as I grew up and as I got more artistic opportunities, I found that I had a natural proclivity for Jim Henson-like subject matter, fantasy type subject matter that was also mixed with a bit of realism. And so Adam and I'm hogging the conversation, but he had a wish to do very expressive lips, and so we got into pillows within pillows of fat and how that sits on the lip. You could imagine this being animated, really. You could imagine that character talking and all of those little creases and all of those little pillows and circles within circles within circles being able to animate beautifully. Now I've talked so much. Tell me something that was difficult, something that was not easy, that you had to brass it out and get through on this. To tell the truth. Tell me something.
The eyes were tricky.
The eyes. Yeah.
There's particularly even little things like tear ducts and getting really in there.
That's right. That's right.
Is a challenge. And also around the eyes where the skin is compressing in different ways, so you get strangeness there. And
yep, the compression points.
Yeah.
Here being a jump off point. Here being one of the joyous jump off points. It's easy to get compression in there, but then where do you go after you got the compression? What are the lines doing as they're flanking? Well, once again.
Yeah. Well, some of it was just pushing it far enough, like the cheekbone being way up high, is something you feel
right.
Right. And you get this big fold here. It's you're naturally a little timid to do something that pronounced.
Right. Well, you got an instructor making faces at you. It gets a little, But yeah, once again, you got the compression there. You got the compression in the nose area, and even compression here. Everybody, wonderful. You see how he's dealt with that here. Look at how he identified where the corner of the mouth was. The lip is lifting there, but the main note there is look how this is responding. That is responding to this. It's responding with a collapsed sub shape, I should say, or a line that's compressing here. And then there's another in here that's also speaking of that compression. This being the heaviest point right here. Love that. Little random things. Not always using your mind. Here, using your mind to do a lot of picking work and being directional. And then here, kind of turning your mind off, right? Yeah. And allowing him to tap and just find little organic forms. Well, needless to say, are you going to mold this and paint a couple? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'd like to make, latex mask out of it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, as always, I want you to mold it, run a couple, paint a couple. Then we get our friends together and we say, which paint job do you like the most, right? And we go from there. But, everybody, at the next Monsterpalooza, Adam's going to be in the museum. And we're going to be showing his vulture. Is it vulture, right?
Yeah.
Buzzard, vulture. I think of that the same thing. Anyways, we're going to have these. And I'm very hopeful to have my student Isabel with her beautiful tiger sculpture, which I now understood that she scanned it. So all of that's going to be on display with some of our other artists and some of their other completed work. I want to tell you I had a great time. Thank you. A wonderful time working with you. And once again, everybody, I want you to follow Adam. And his narrative, his sculpting work has come on so strong. And what a bright future. We can't wait to see what you do next. But also come and meet us at Monsterpalooza, where I'm going to have many students in the museum there. I also want to mention I have another class, Making Monsters 101 class, coming up in December. Also check and look below in the description for information on that. You can drop me an email, and I'd love to send you a class overview and information, and I'd love to work with you. Once again, I'm so proud because these classes that I put on, I think you'll agree, we show you the real stuff. You don't have to have sculpted before. I stand with you for the full 40 hours, and we show you the real intense stuff, and we've learned that you can do it, even if you don't have a lot of experience. Is this your second or third head? What is this for you?
Yeah, I haven't done very many. I mean, okay. For full heads, this is
full head. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe third or fourth.
Wonderful,
like that,
wonderful. So. Well, once again, I'm so prideful to share the techniques garnered over 50 years. This is my 50th year sculpting monsters. You can tell I'm proud of it, and my 26th year of doing it professionally. And to train the designers, concept designers and artists of tomorrow has been an absolute pleasure. I want to do that with you as well. So once again, look below in the description, and we'll see you in December. Thank you so much. And I want to say one last thing. A thank you to Greg Williams for our wonderful space here with these beautiful skylights. We come in the morning and we have natural light on our sculptures. And boy, it makes a difference after 26 years of fluorescent light. Thank you, everybody, for your support. We have some other artist spotlights coming. Those are going to be on my YouTube channel. We were running a little bit late, joyously so we wanted to give a presentation here on Facebook. Come on over to my YouTube channel where you'll be able to see some more students from this amazing week. I thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Great. Good job. Yeah, and the proof is in the pudding. Wonderful.